The worst thing Donald Trump has done was try to disenfranchise the working class. He's done it by making us point fingers at each other, instead of realizing that he passed a tax code that is destroying us every single day it stays active. It's pulling away at our health care. It's allowing them to use an excuse that it's Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare that is destroying our economy, so we must make cuts. It's allowing him to do things like pull regulations from the EPA.
That's a little bit from last night's debate. And I didn't get to watch it live, but the comments kind of speak for themselves. The voice you heard is that of our next guest. She is running for Senate in Delaware. She is Kerri Evelyn Harris. Kerri, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you this morning?
Just fine. Pleasure to hear your voice.
Thank you. Thank you. Same
I
here.
I was listening last night, and when I got to it late, I was doing some other work, and I couldn't really tune in. But I was looking at the comments. Sometimes the comments tell you everything, and all the comments in the stream, the people on the Facebook stream were giving you the greatest accolades. One woman even wrote in the comments, "I've heard OMG, I've seen OMG, but she wrote OMMG. I don't know what that is." Uh, but you were doing it, Kerri. You won that debate. It seems.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
S-
It was certainly a team effort.
Well, how's the campaign going?
Oh, it's going so well. We have over 500 active volunteers. So, I always said that we'd never outraise, but we'll always outwork. And we've been proving that that's the formula. The small amount of money we've raised has been the exact amount that we have needed thus far to get our message out. It's been about knocking on doors, making phone calls, sending text messages, just really connecting with the voters, letting them know why they're the priority. And people are tired of corporate interests out muting their voices, basically. Yeah.
Is that what inspired you to run? Tell us a bit about you, a little bit about your background. What is it? What's your makeup that even made you want to think about running for Senate?
Yeah. So I have a very diverse background. So the most recent, not most recent, one of the parts I'm most honored about is my time in the United States Air Force. I served from 2001 until I was medically retired in 2008. I had amazing experiences then. It ranged from seeing the world and seeing what it has to offer to understanding that America is still the place that people look to as the home of opportunity and possibility, but then I also saw some other ugly things. I saw what it means when our country doesn't do their due diligence, and our legislators send our working class families to war. Our sons and daughters. I was one of them. Dover Air Force Base has the honor of returning every fallen service member to American soil, and I saw one too many bodies. Each body was too many bodies. And those are just those that left had the ultimate sacrifice. You're forgetting the rest that have wounds that will never really heal, to include PTSD, which I personally suffer from still. And it just really spoke to me about what it is that we prioritize. And we pass these enormous spending budgets for the military, saying it supports the troops, but the troops never feel the effects. It's always, Blackwater or Q or Lockheed or Boeing, and the troops actually are left behind. We still have E1s through E4s in most states that qualify for food stamps, and that's a problem. And then after my time in the service, I had it was a rough period. I was medically retired, as I said, because I got sick from the anthrax vaccine, and it was difficult to find, which is a whole story. I know we only have so much time, but it was difficult to find employment. I ended up working at a local gas station frying chicken, and that wasn't enough. It was a minimum wage job, and so I cut lawns and cleaned basements, whatever I could do to keep my head above water, but it still wasn't enough. And I am blessed with an amazing family, and they picked up the slack where they could. But not everybody has that blessing, and so that's how you see things like enormous numbers of military veterans homeless in our streets. And again, it just speaks to the fact that oftentimes we support our troops as just lip service.
Yeah, it absolutely is. We all know that.
It is.
And well, let us thank you
Thank
for your service, first of all.
Thank you.
I was reading a part of your bio. You were active in the service after 9/11, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. And so,
Yeah.
how many years did you end up doing?
Just short of 8. No, I got out. I was medically retired in July. November would have been 8 years.
Okay. So, when did you make the decision to jump
For what?
into
To
this
join
race?
the service?
No, to jump into this race, to jump into the Senate race.
Actually, it was last summer. I was looking for other people to run. I knew it was important. I knew Carper wasn't doing what we needed him to do for the people of Delaware. And so a small group of us were looking for somebody to say, let's take on this challenge. But all of the people we would ask, we're from a small state. We have a strong establishment here. And so people are like, we can't take the risk because if it doesn't go well, we'll be blacklisted essentially. And eventually over time, the team was like, well, why don't you do it, Kerri? And I said, whoa, that's not my thing. I'm a background type of person. And after a while of some prodding, I realized I was being a hypocrite. I always have this thing I say that words without action are mute. And I realized I was doing the exact same thing other people were doing, banging on the desk saying we needed change, but not taking the steps to make it happen. And so I said, okay, let's try. And we did some meet and greets just to test the waters to see if people would bite. And if I had the ability to inspire people to participate, we found that it would work. But in October of last year, I realized, Kerri, you're a poor organizer, right? I had it planned ahead for the bills that needed to be paid in my home, because I wasn't planning on running. As an organizer, sometimes you get paid, sometimes you don't. So it's a very fluid pay system. So I had to pull out. It was one of the hardest decisions I had to make because I really believe in democracy, and it angered me that I had to be priced out of working for my people, for my communities because of money. It was exactly one of the reasons why I feel that we need diversity and experience in Congress so that we don't have this type of thing happening. And the team was, a little upset, not mad, but they understood, but we were let down because we were ready to go forward. But I just continued fighting to save the ACA and the tax, fight against the tax bill and fighting for the Clean Dream Act and things up and down the state. And then in December, I was approached again. Things had changed, and I hadn't expected that this opportunity would come again, but I was asked. And I said, do we have a team still? And they said, we have a small team. Let's talk. And the first week of January, a room full of 6 people sat down. I said, do we all in here truly believe we can inspire the state to make a change in this amount of time? And everybody felt we could. And I had one more person to ask, and I have 2 kids, but my oldest at the time was 6. She's 7 now, and she was the final decision maker. And
Wow.
we sat down and talked about it. I'm gone a lot as a organizer, but I'd be gone even more as a candidate. And eventually, she said, "Yes, you need to do it. Other people need your help, like I need your help." And so,
Wow. And how old is she again?
She's 7.
Wow. And
Yeah.
she said other people need your help like she does.
Yes, she's amazing. If you ever meet her, I'm not like all the other parents that say my kid's amazing, and you're like, oh, that's not right. She's amazing.
That's something. Kerri, Evelyn Harris with us, folks. Primary is when? What day is the primary on?
next Thursday, September 6th.
Well, time flies. It's next week, Kerri.
It is next week. This is GOTV time. Get out the vote. We are excited. The troops are rallied. The debate really helped. We wanted it. We knew that it had to happen. We weren't sure that it would occur, but when we found out, we knew that would be the moment where people said she should be there. And it's been, preparation makes all the difference. I've never had a political debate, so but I can deliver the issues. I'm an organizer, so I know the issues. I know what needs to be done. I just had to be able to prove it in front of the audience, in front of the people that were live streaming from home, and let them know I am genuinely there for them. I know what the answers are, and I can stand on the stage with the big boys and keep up. And so in experience, we've had experience in Washington. I've had experience living in this world and also in Washington helping to draft bills and things like that. I just haven't had the opportunity to sign the bills that can make the difference.
Yeah. Kerri, Evelyn Harris with us, folks. And if you're watching on our stream, you can see part of the debate in the background. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, Make It Plain, and also on Instagram, a Minister with 2 T's. How many people, Delaware is a small state, we know. How many people Democrats usually turn out to vote in a primary like this, Kerri?
We tried to figure it at the very highest. So for a midterm, let's say it was something popular happening, and so we figured it, considering in the past, about 50,000. So we figured our win number to be at 26,000. Now that they're looking at it, they say it's probably going to be much lower, but that's been our mark. But we even erred on the side of caution as a team and said even worst case scenario, it's a very popular presidential year. Everybody wants to come out and vote. It would be 40,000 people that we would have to get to vote in this election. And so this is a very winnable race. 26,000 is actually our number, no matter who runs the numbers. There hasn't been a time that I've canvassed that I haven't registered new voters. The same happens with the majority of our team. People are excited, and the more they look into Senator Carper's record, they're realizing that he often would tout just a few things that were helpful, because everybody does something helpful, but the majority of things weren't in the best interest of Delawareans, and they're ready for change.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has been campaigning with you and for you, correct?
Yes, so she has definitely given us some momentum through her social media. There are members of her team that came down after her primary win, and she's actually coming down on Friday. We're having 2 town halls, one in Newark, Delaware, and one in Wilmington, Delaware, and people are very excited about it. We have sold out the venues. Well, not sold out, but people have registered. It's free to people, but it's something that's amazing. Oftentimes, people are like, Delaware, right? Instead of understanding that we're an actual state, and right. We're on the map. We're excited. It's like when Biden, became vice president. We're reigniting the interest in the state, which is huge. We need it because we have a lot of positive things to give to the rest of the nation, and then there are some things that have to be fixed, and national attention will help bring in the infrastructure spending money that we need to fix our state. Yeah.
No, absolutely. That's exactly what you need. When you go around the state, Kerri, Evelyn Harris was folks, when you go around the state and ask people or hear from voters what it is that's important to them, what do they say? What are the things the voters want you to prioritize if you win, Kerri?
The very number one issue, no matter the community that I go to, is health care. Mm-hmm. And the interesting part to me is we keep hearing people say, well, we'll expand access. Well, Delaware has one of the highest rates of insured people in the country. We have 85 to 90% of our population having health care insurance. The problem is you can't use it. It costs too much to use it. Right. Premiums, deductibles, co-pays, all of these things eat away at people's budgets for everything else. And people want change. They want to make sure that they're not stuck to a job because of that health care. Then they don't want to make sure that if all of a sudden something happens and they can't pay their premiums, they're not without. So again, it is so important. They realize that they have to be healthy in order to be productive. And the idea that it's a handout is very offensive to people. People are realizing it's a human right. And so if you can figure out how to pay for a war in Iraq, you should be able to figure out how to save lives here in America.
Amen. 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 Very well said. Next Thursday, folks, that's the 6th, right?
Yes, sir.
September the 6th. Big primary. We had Andrew Gillum on the past 2 days. We've had Stacey Abrams on. We've had Ben Jealous on. Everybody I've had on, maybe except
that's
for
a
one,
winning list.
has won, Kerri. and Andrew was on with us 2 days in a row. He pulled off an upset. So I may have him out of touch. You may upset Tom Carper.
Yeah, well, I need you to have me on a second time then. I want to put a little bit more of this good luck on here. We're putting in the work, but we could always use a little extra push.
Well, that's fine. Well, let's get you back on here then next week.
Sir.
Friends and family, if you are in Delaware, let everyone know to vote for Kerri Evelyn Harris. We need some new blood, need some fresh blood. Kerri Evelyn Harris.com is her website. Now, if people go to the website and click on the volunteer button, can they get a phone list of calls to make on your behalf? Do you all do that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We call the volunteers back within 24 to 36 hours. We've been getting a big influx. Don't when I say that, don't think that that's enough. We need more and more and more volunteers, and it doesn't matter where you are in the nation. You can make this difference.
Okay.
Every senator in this United States affects the entire United States.
So, folks, KerriEvelynHarris.com. Get that volunteer list. Now, you don't need any money, do you?
Oh, I absolutely do need money, but I need only money from people. So I don't take any corporate money of any type. And so this is fully backed by the people. And so please, every single dollar makes a difference. $52 allows us to reach 1,000 voters with text messaging. It is bringing in more and more people. And so please, $1, $2, $52, $100, whatever you can give, it really does make a difference.
No, I'm just teasing. Of course you need money. Kerri Evelyn Harris. That's Kerri with an I on the end. Kerri Evelyn.
And a K. Starts with a K.
And a K, yes, I'm sorry. Kerri Evelyn Harris, folks.com. Volunteer. Give those small dollar donations so she can pull off another. Don't y'all feel good about these upsets? Let's get another upset next week. All right, next Thursday, September 6th, in the Delaware primary. And let's get Kerri in the U.S. Senate. Kerri, let's talk again next week too, okay?
Yes, sir. Will do.
It's an honor to meet you. Very proud of you, okay? Very proud of you.
Thank you so much.
All right, and we'll talk next week. And keep up the good work. Folks, don't forget, KerriEvelynHarris.com. Take care, Kerri.
Take care. You have a good one.
All right, you too. Take care now. All right, folks, 866-99-SIRIUS, 866-997-4748. Well, I'm getting out the number. Time's up. Happy birthday, Brittany. It's Brittany's birthday, y'all.
Thank you. And thanks to everyone who called in. That was so sweet. I loved it.
She's a year older. We're going to have more off-air celebrations. You know, we're going to have fireworks and a parade and dancing. So we may live stream it. Who knows? KerriEvelynHarris.com. Congratulations to Andrew Gillum. We did that. Y'all did that. We did it together. All right. We'll do it again tomorrow. If all minds are clear, it has been made plain.